Now, of course, there are 1,001 different scenarios here. How are they paying? All that kind of stuff will determine the different kinds of pathways you can go down with automating the delivery of a link to somebody to access something. But I'm going to just go with, let's pretend this is a free workshop. Okay, I'm just going to assume that you're delivering a free workshop and you're doing it on Zoom. And all you want is to just get people's email addresses and send them the Zoom link. All right, that's the scenario I'm going to use, and I'm going to simplify this as much as possible. The first thing I would be doing is getting the Zoom link. That is always step one. I'm going to walk you through the basics. First of all, you're going to go into Zoom, and it needs to be Zoom online. So you need to type in zoom.us. You do actually need to log in to your Zoom account and grab the Zoom link for your thing, for whatever your workshop or your free workshop. Here we go. So I'm just going to simply host a meeting with video on. Obviously, I'm not going to do it in real time, but this is where I'm going to create the Zoom meeting, and then I'm going to be able to get my Zoom link. Yeah? So you all know how to get a Zoom link for an event you're running. I don't need to walk through that. Cool. So I'm going to pretend I've got the Zoom link, which of course I can just use today's link for as today's example. So I've got the Zoom link for the thing that I'm running. The next thing we want to do is give people the registration form. We want their email address. So let's go to websites and funnels. I'm going to click on forms and form builder. We're creating an opt-in form for our free workshop. Add a form, start from scratch. You can choose from template, but I'm going to do it starting from scratch just to show you all of the basics. And all we need in this form is a title, which is, let's press add an element, drag and drop the text element over, and call this free registration for XYZ webinar. Okay. And you might want to collect first name and last name. I personally only collect first names. I definitely don't collect phone numbers for a free thing, but we do need their email for sure. Okay. You might want to have some kind of consent box there. And of course you can do all the making it pretty and changing the colors things over here. But essentially what we've done now is we've created the form. Important thing to do is to name it. So this might be the registration for the XYZ webinar. Okay. And save. Boom. Let me now press integrate, which is going to give us the link to this form. Okay, there is the link to this form. Done. This is the link that we're sharing with the world. This is now public. If I literally paste this in, you will see that the form is now live. Boom. That's what I'm sharing with the world. I could embed that in a prettier page if I want to. I might have a pretty sales page that then the join now button simply links to this. Either way, we have a form that people can register. What we want to do now is make sure that when I type my email address in here and put my little email address in there, that I actually get sent the Zoom link. So all you need to do now is create the email. You need to create that email that says, here's your Zoom link. Make sure this is where you log in. Marketing and emails. Email builder, we build our emails in builder, we send them from campaigns. New email, all remember we always use our master. Type in master template, find your master template and press clone. And this one's going to be called confirmation of registration, or you can call it Zoom link for the XYZ webinar. Okay, this is going to the person who's just filled in that form. Hi, contact first name. Here is the Zoom link for the free. And you might even here change the button. If you've got a button, you might just put the link to the Zoom call in there as well. And just change that to Zoom, join the webinar. Now, let's just do our simple little workflow that triggers all of this off automatically. Create the form, create the email, then create the workflow. Automated workflows. Make it a bit bigger for you. Create a workflow. And we're going to press, what's the trigger? The trigger is someone filled in the registration form. Yeah, this all fires off because somebody registered for the webinar. So we're going to click on add a trigger. We're going to type in form, find form submitted. And what was the form? Let's press add a filter. The form is, and it was the registration for the XYZ webinar. Boom, save. Got our trigger. And of course, we're always going to tag them, add a tag, and our tag can be whatever we want. Mine would be has registered for the XYZ webinar. Okay. All right, and now we're going to press add an action and send the email. Boom. And we're going to go down to the templates and we're going to find that XYZ webinar registration. There it is. That's the one we've just created. Gives us a little preview of it. That's the one. Save. Boom. And then I might simply go and send them follow-up reminders to the actual date of the webinar. So if I had a very specific date that this webinar is happening, what I would need to do is tell the system when the webinar is happening. So press add an action and type in event. We're telling the system now when this event is happening, okay? And it is going to be a specific day and time. And the date of this particular webinar is going to be, I'm going to pick the 18th of November at maybe at 9 a.m. Okay, save, boom. So now when somebody registers, they get tagged and sent the email. Then we're going to say to the system, this actual webinar is happening on this day and time. So we can change this notice to self, 18th of November, 9 a.m. We can actually then say, we want to send them a reminder 3 days before, 1 day before, and 1 hour before, because this particular question we've had today is people can't find their Zoom link in their massive bunch of emails. So we just want to keep sending it to them. So let's tell the system, we want to send these guys a reminder 3 days before the webinar. Let's press wait for, okay. And instead of a time delay, we're going to wait for something related to the event. A date related to the event. So normally we'd say wait for 3 days. We're saying to the system, wait for 3 days before, there we go, there it is, before 3 days before the event happens. So I can also change the note on here, 3 days before, just so I know what this step is. And then I'm just going to send them either that email, or I could create a custom email. Let's press add an action, send an email, go to templates, and I'm going to just simply send them the registration email again. But of course, I might actually create a second email saying 3 days to go, here are the details. 1 day to go, here are the details. 1 hour to go, here are the details. You can also just use a really generic template like that. So again, I might want to send them another email 1 day before the workshop. So I'm going to press add a wait step, wait for, not a time delay, a date related to the event. So I'm going to wait for 1 day before the event. And I can also change that 1 day before. Okay. And then of course, go back and send, by the way, you can actually keep going back here, press duplicate. I'm going to go back to that email. I'm going to copy that step to here. Copy this action to here. Boom. It's just copied that same email. And then I can also go again and press wait for the event, wait for 1 hour before. And I can also change that to 1 hour before. And of course, if it's an event, I'm always going to wait until after the event and ask for a review. So I'm going to wait until maybe 4 hours after the event. Okay. And I'm going to send them a review request. Send a review by email, save. Boom. So there is the XYZ webinar registration and reminder. Save. Ta-da!